Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It is in the description below this video. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we're discussing a lovely sporting Perpetual calendar launched in 2021. As you see it here in white gold, this is the Vacheron Constantin Overseas Ultra Thin Perpetual calendar. Now, there was an Overseas Ultra Thin of the third generation back in 2019, but that was rose gold. With blue dial in white gold, this is the sweet spot for collector tastes. So the timepiece lives up to its name. It's 41.5 millimeters in diameter, but only 8.4 millimeters thick. It's 49 millimeters from lug to lug. And as you can see on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, it wears beautifully. Now, the watch does come with a second accessory strap in blue leather, as well as a full white gold bracelet. So you get all three with this watch, and we'll see why it's easy to swap between them. As thin as it is, it'll fit underneath any kind of a cuff, and it's short enough across the wrist, especially with the downward cant of the lugs. I could recommend it for a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference. Now, the strap that you see here is a very nice one. This is probably how I would wear the watch for maximum durability and lightness on the wrist. We have a wonderful molded pattern. It's not quite a pyramid. It's not quite a hobnail. It has facets that creates highlights and dark contrast, and it's very attractive. It is a very thin strap, and you can see on the underside, Vacheron Constantin factory strap in brand new condition. It has a conforming profile that blends with the case. That is part of the idea. It looks as integrated on the strap as it does on the bracelet. Now, it does feature the quick release system that you'll find on other Vacheron Constantin overseas models of this generation. You just pull and remove, and it's that simple. Snap on, snap off. It's very, very straightforward. Here you can see we have a buckle that is also in gray gold, and I emphasize this is gray gold. It's white gold, 18 karat, that is white all the way through. It never needs to be rhodium plated. If you scratch it, there's not another color of gold underneath. This is the good stuff. This is what you want when you buy a white gold watch. Now, it's very much a third generation overseas, only it is much, much thinner. Now, the timepiece is broad and flat, and that is largely due to the JLC-based base movement. But it's the dial of the watch that gives it its personality, and you can see that the case is beautifully hand-finished, satin and polish in contrast this Maltese cross motif bezel, and you can see that the recesses of the bezel are satinated and the outer face of it polished. The dial is blue lacquer over a black polished metallic base, and we have white gold hands, white gold indices, and we have a fair amount of lume. Now, this is generally one of the dressier of the overseas collection, but it is designed to be a real sports watch, which means it has plenty of lume. It's a perpetual calendar, which means it doesn't need to be adjusted until the year 2100. Up until that point in the Gregorian calendar, it can handle irregular length months. It can handle leap years, not a problem. There's a lovely lunette style moon phase down at 6 o'clock. It's a nicely balanced dial with sunken sub-registers in more of a matte blue than the rest of the dial. There's a Rehaut outboard that acts as your scale for reading the minutes, and then we flip the watch over and you can see that it has that JLC 920 base. So this is a movement designed by Jaeger back in 1967, expressly for the use of its sponsors, Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet, and Vacheron Constantin. This base movement powered the original Royal Oak and Nautilus Jumbos and the Vacheron 222, so this is high horology royalty right here. Vacheron still uses it, and it makes for a movement that is just fractionally over 4 millimeters thick. Now, here we have a quadruply finished compass rose style 22 karat winding mass. That's not 21, not 18, and God help us, not tungsten, 22 for maximum winding efficiency. The movement itself features a beryllium ring that runs all the way around, and then there are 4 ruby roller jewels, ruby bearings built into the base plate so that the bridge and the rotor and that annular rail can be all extremely compressed. With that rail borne on 4 ruby rollers, there's no chance that it or the rotor will come in contact with the base plate or the bridges. That allows the watch to be exceptionally thin. It's a unidirectional winder. It's got a 40-hour power reserve. It pivots on 36 jewels. It has a free-sprung Gyromax style balance for durability and precise adjustment. Again, 40-hour power reserve and a 19,800 vibration per hour beat rate, which is a nice vintagey rate that you rarely see today. It does have the Geneva hallmark on both movement movement in case, as since mid-2012, it has been a standard that expresses the quality of the entire watch, not simply the standard of finish on the movement. But if you had any doubts, the standard of finish on this movement is extraordinary. You can see it is the 1120/3. That is the Vacheron version of the JLC 920, hand finished by Vacheron and customized with the Perpetual calendar. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. And in case you're wondering, it is a push-down crown, but 50 meters water resistant, and at least at SIHH in 2019, Vacheron was telling me that is sufficient for swimming. I'll let you be the judge.